Hello everyone, hola, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, swadikap. Welcome to Arun's Manthan, where we meet, we talk about various initiatives, and I am the founder, Arun Rao of TTS Coaching, and at TTS we help your business TTS. That's right, touch the sky. The reason I use so many languages, no, I'm not intending to be a polyglot. It's because I have a very special visitor with us today. And it's my pleasure to introduce Reshmi Jadwani. Hi, Reshmi.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Fantastic.
Great. Reshmi is the founder of Fleck, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. Reshmi is a very passionate baker of some very interesting breads. Her combination of knowing so many languages and the pandemic making most people go online also means that she conducts yoga classes, which is now international because she's able to conduct them in so many languages. But let's keep a lot of that aside because today we are interested in talking about a very interesting thing that she does, which is Fleck, her academy. And incidentally, she comes from the oil and gas sector where she's presented a lot of technical papers which are internationally published, and an interesting journey from the oil and gas corporate sector to being a communication coach in so many languages. I guess, Reshmi, you follow your passion, don't you?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Uh, Thanks for joining us, Reshmi. It's a very interesting sector. I not too many people that I know of who actually do language and especially foreign language coaching. Uh, could you tell me a little about Fleck? The name Fleck is quite interesting. What does it stand for? Why did you start this business?
Sure, absolutely. It's a pleasure, Aaron. Thank you so much for inviting me for this. So, FLEC or FLEX stands for Foreign Languages for Effective Communication. The idea initially came up with the word F. I knew four languages back then, that's Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. And I was thinking of a word that everybody can resonate with, which is omnipresent, I would say, in all the Latin Romance languages. And the word was facile. So facile in Italian becomes facile, in French it's facile, in Spanish it's facile, and so on. And I thought, why not do it facile languages, which means that any language that anybody comes across is pretty easy to learn in a facile way.
Okay.
That gave birth to FL, and sooner or later, I thought, why not extend to other languages and make it foreign languages? And of course, effective communication is the need of the hour. That's the primitive reason why I started this business in the first place, and hence FLEC.
Wow, wonderful. And could you tell me a little about the countries in which, a little about your team and what kind of countries do you get clients from, and how does that whole thing work?
Sure. So my teachers and I would say my co-panelist teachers are spread across the world. If we start from the Americas, I have let's say Lorena in Mexico. I have Camilo in Colombia. I've got David from Peru, and then we come to the U.S. There's Brandon from the U.S. There's Helen from the U.K. There's Maximilian from Germany. Stefan and Yassine from France. There's Chiro from Italy. I have a Tunisian teacher who teaches Arabic, Manel. Um, there are teachers in the South of Asia. Like there's Lee from Vietnam, Naoko from Japan. There's Shena from China and Jenny from Taiwan, and so on. So we are an interesting mix. We love, and it's the most interesting part of this is that it's not just me who learns or speaks more than a few tongues. All of these teachers that I'm talking about, they're all polyglots. So together we have a sort of a polyglot community. For instance, it won't be surprised if Francesca, my Italian teacher, ends up speaking to you in Hindi, for instance. Or you hear Maximilian, for instance, who's from Germany, speaking Polish or French or Spanish for that matter, or Helen speaking Welsh, Norwegian, and so on. So every teacher on board comes with their own set of experiences. And we've got students ranging all the way from Latin America, parts of the US and Canada, Mediterranean Europe, Scandinavian Europe, parts of Africa, and also from Southeast Asia.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. Awesome work, Reshmi, for having set up such an international team. And I'm presuming technology has played a big role in actually putting this team together. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
Reshmi, while you were speaking about all your students from various countries, one thing that quickly came to mind was the bridge language for the most communities in order to do business around the world is usually English. So I can pretty much understand someone from a South America or Europe or China and the Far East, etc., wanting to learn English, and therefore because English is a foreign language for them. We Indians don't think of English as a foreign language because that's what we've been brought up on. Why are Indians wanting to learn non-English languages? And what kind of desire or aspiration do people have? What's happening there?
Sure. So I came across a lot of interesting research on this. I have myself been very curious on why English has become so omnipresent while there are more number of speakers in terms of quantity for other languages in the world.
Mhm.
I think it just became convenient in terms of the usage of the language and the adaptability that people have towards English. But this is something my teachers discuss all the time, that a lot of languages, a lot of research oriented work, important work gets lost in translation because it's not published in English. And this created, and you would understand this, that many countries in the Europe, Latin America, even Asia
Mhm.
are trying to protect their culture and their language. And they're trying to set up their own technical, medical, research oriented fields within their framework of languages. So this makes it highly important that once you move to a certain country, not just to respect the culture, but also to be a part of the system, you kind of inculcate values and understanding of a certain language. Earlier, people used to say back in time that learn a new language so you can trade better. But now it's everything. It's the tourism, healthcare, hospitality. Being multilingual helps you improve your cognition overall. That's why so many schools are setting up different foreign language programs for kids and overall. So I would say that it's not just Indians, but a lot of people around the world are learning different languages to put themselves, on the map somewhere in the industry that they are working for. So not necessarily technology or STEM oriented subjects, but even commerce for that matter. I'll give you an example. I'm teaching English for accounts to somebody from Uruguay. She's 55 years old and she's almost spent her whole life speaking Spanish and doing accounts in Spanish. But now the global demand and the fact that she's doing auditing work for a lot of football leagues makes her, and you know how football is becoming global now. It's not anymore restricted to some countries. So it's a need of the hour for her to learn English. And just like it is a need of the hour for her to learn English, it is for us to learn, let's say, Spanish or German for that matter.
Okay, so the primary motivation to do commerce exists, but there seems to be a drive towards, people are going global, people are being mobile, going to other countries. So the
Mhm.
need to fit in better, no matter which country you go to, I think is another driver for people to learn
Absolutely. And
online.
to understand better.
So, in your background, I also see IELTS and all those aspirational exams people have. So, can you tell me a little bit of what you do for students aspiring to go abroad?
Right. So, from its inception, PLEC has been focused on helping students improve their skills that or modules that are required for immigration exams. So, we do a great deal of work with exams like IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, and SATs, primarily for reading, writing, speaking, listening modules along with grammar, and
Mhm.
also helping them with verbal reasoning. So, we have set courses depending upon the aptitude of the student. We customize the courses and the length of the duration of the course and then decide how they can effectively improve their individual module skills.
Okay, so that's kind of standard, I guess. That's pretty standard for whoever wants to go. But I really loved some of the other points you brought up of people wanting to learn Mandarin and Spanish. Indians, I mean, wanting to learn Mandarin and Spanish. Quite interesting. Truly, I think a lot of Indians are on their way to become global citizens, and yeah, so not surprising. So most of the viewers of this channel, Reshmi, are business owners and startup founders professionals, etc. Is there any message you want to leave them with respect to your what you do?
Yes, primarily I want to tell them three things. One is that Indians have a natural tendency to be multilingual. So there's a high possibility that you already are speaking more than two or three languages. And research says, and there's a lot of research on this, you can search online, that says that if you're fluent in a second or third language, it's quite easy to catch up with the fourth or fifth one. So I want people to not feel inhibited just because they've crossed 30 years or 40 years or 50 or 60 years for that matter and wishing to learn a new language. It's not about teaching kids a new language only, it's also about everybody else getting involved in learning a new language. So if you ever had a long lost dream of following a language, or you want to pursue a passion just because, let's say, your company is deciding to do business with a Polish company or a German company for that matter, or a Swedish company, feel free to go out there and actually learn the language. Don't limit yourself to hiring interpreters and translators. Of course, we do that as well. But then make sure that you also try to get a hand across the new language and see what kind of possibilities and open-mindedness that brings to you.
With the opportunity for the smallest of business owner to go global today, I think it builds far deeper bonds if you're able to connect with your international business partner or whoever you're doing business with in their language. And that's an opportunity which is there, and I think that augurs well for India. Some great work that you're doing, Reshmi. Thanks for joining us for this short interview today. Dear viewers, you can find all of Reshmi's details in the video notes that I have put down there. You can reach out to her, know more about her academy, and go out there, learn a lot. It will really move you from being a local businessman to someone who can do it global. And yes, don't forget to like, subscribe our channel, and also comment on it, and do press that bell icon, because that will keep you updated the moment a new video is uploaded. Thanks, Reshmi, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And
It was a pleasure.
I'll catch you later. Yes,
Sure.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.